Your next guest says that these tariffs could potentially have a big impact, but for now, he's still bullish on the group overall. So Vamal Divan is senior pharma analyst at Guggenheim Partners, joins us now. Vamal, it's great to have you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Okay, so devil's in the details, as I said before the break, on these tariffs. How many of these big pharmaceutical giants are already building out manufacturing capability here in the U.S.?
Yeah, almost all of them, honestly. So I think as this news has played out over the year, I'd say most of the large companies have already announced plans to increase investment in manufacturing in the U.S. Those plans obviously will take some time to be up and running. But in the meantime, they've also stockpiled inventory in the U.S. for their key products. So I think most of them in the near term are fine. Maybe there's a little bit of a headwind next year, 2027, as the manufacturing picks up. But again, as you mentioned, the details really matter, which, what the tariffs would be, what product would be applied to. So I think it's something investors and we're watching closely, but I don't think it's really driving investment decisions, certainly not within the sector maybe. Some people avoiding the sector altogether, but within companies looking across the sector, it hasn't really been a big driver of how investors are thinking right now.
Okay. And of course, in terms of potential tariffs, it depends on the country, and we're talking about branded or patented products. I was reading that something like roughly 9 out of 10 prescriptions in the U.S. that are filled with generic drugs, which wouldn't be impacted by these tariffs as well. So how to factor that into this landscape?
Yeah, so that's right. So most generic drugs, a lot of them come from Europe, a lot of them come from India, other countries, and that's predominantly what people are using here. There is obviously a public health issue to think about here too, that we want to make sure we have access to these products in the U.S. So that may be why they've been kept out of this specific order. Obviously, things could change in the future. But yeah, this is specifically talking about newer branded, patented products, excluding all the generics, which again is predominantly what most of us are using. So for the large pharma companies, the sales and profits are driven by these branded products. But again, until we don't know those details, I think even the companies, when we ask them, they're not sure what to make of it. They are investing here. They're trying, building out their U.S. manufacturing, and that's all they really can do until there is some official information on that they can act on.
Okay, so what has you largely bullish on large cap pharma right now then?
Yeah, most of our enthusiasm on the different companies is driven by the innovation that we're still seeing. I think there's a lot of room to go. Our top 2 picks in the large cap space for us specifically is AbbVie, which has a couple of big growth drivers in Skyrizi, Rinvoq, novel product in the immunology space. And then just this week, we upgraded Johnson & Johnson to a buy rating. And that's driven, again, by innovation we're seeing in oncology, specifically in bladder cancer, where they got approval a few weeks ago, lung cancer, multiple myeloma. And then again, immunology, they have some exciting pipeline products in areas like psoriasis, inflammatory bowel disease. So, there's still a lot of unmet need in these areas. We still feel very optimistic that the science is going to drive the story here, even if there's some of these near-term questions around tariffs or obviously U.S. drug pricing. There are headwinds that this industry has to overcome, but we keep saying if they drive innovation, they'll be rewarded and shareholders will be rewarded.
Okay. Is M&A still something that's going to factor in here, especially if you are talking about product pipeline for the future?
Absolutely. Most of these companies, maybe not AbbVie and J&J, which is why we like them a little bit more now, but most of the big companies have big patent holes to fill in the next several years. Companies we cover like Merck and Pfizer, Bristol Myers. So we've seen them all be active in acquiring newer products from small biotech companies, but there's still a lot of holes to fill. So we've seen a little bit of a pickup in M&A by pharma companies buying smaller biotechs this year. We definitely would expect that to continue in the next year and beyond, because from 2026 to 2030, again, most companies are losing big blockbuster products, and their internal pipelines are not enough to replace those sales and earnings.
Okay, Vamal, thank you. Appreciate it.